Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Silver the Hedgehog here, and I am back for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games DS version, and welcome to day 13 of the Paris Olympics 2024. So yesterday, we did somehow manage to went into Supernova Circuit, and oh no, we actually did those events no problem, especially concerning for the fact that after all we play as Amy Rose, even though I will admit though right away, when it comes to both table tennis and dream boxing, we were so close to aim for first place, because mind you, like I said before, the computer players are going to get a little bit more aggressively difficult, especially concerning during the finals when it comes to some events, but oh well, beggars can't be choosers I guess, especially luckily though we still claim ourselves our glorious Supernova trophy, so that's all that really matters. So today, for this video is that we're going to be continuing things on and move on to the next circuit, which is in my opinion is one of the hardest circuits in this version of the game in particular. That's what appears to be Cosmos Circuit. So we have cycling, fencing, 400 meters, dream race, and dream shooting. So generally speaking though, when it comes to dream shooting, this is actually the 7th dream event we can able to come across into. So either way, and since after all we did play as every single all-around characters as well as the speed type characters, so now all we need left is about the fact that we've got 2 power type characters left and 2 skill type characters left. So, and since we've already played as the Sonic character last time, which is like I said before, we selected Amy from yesterday, so now it's time for Waluigi's time to shine. So because of that though, yeah, here we go on to cycling, and fundamentally speaking I was about the fact that, oh gee, it looks like not only Dr. Eggman did somehow returns, but also we able to come across into both of those speed type characters, which we have Daisy and Sonic the Hedgehog. So this will be interesting, especially concerning for the fact that, like I said before, that the game itself, when it comes to circuit mode, gets a little bit more difficult as far as at this point in time, especially concerning for the fact that there's one thing I honestly forgot to mention about, is that yes indeed, that just like on the Wii version, that this version of the game also has mission mode, which as a result, let me know in the comments down below that if you guys want me to tackle through every single missions in this version of the game next to the Wii version, because you know, if you guys suggest me for doing those, well, I'm obviously going to be participating in for doing these, especially concerning for the fact that after all, that we've already done the rest of the circuit mode on the Wii version, and currently we're still on the Forms of In circuit mode on the DS version, mind you. So either way though, jeez, that was a definition of a close call right there, especially I'm almost literally trying to able to actually lose this particular event, but luckily though about the fact that the stamina doesn't go completely wasted, whilst if I did somehow selected the speed type characters like Sonic or Shadow for instance, the stamina will decrease very fast, just like the forms of how it does it on the Wii version of 400 meter dash, especially with 400 meter hurdles as well. So either way though, yeah, you probably get the gist of it. So anyways, let's go ahead and face off against with Daisy now, especially concerning for the fact that, well, you get the idea for this point. So anyways though, a few things I want to talk about is about the fact that, well, today's date of course there is the 7th of August today, in some cases in 2024 today, so I believe we've only got about 22 days to go until that particular next Nintendo Switch game is going to be releasing at some point, which I think I've already on about that since in yesterday by the way, so let's not get ahead of ourselves, because speaking of which, when it comes to the forms of Nintendo stuff in general, recently I did somehow recently picked up, potentially speaking now, the final 2 Nintendo GameCube games into my collection. Well, I was originally trying to able to get myself both Pikmin 1 as well as Pikmin 2 on the original GameCube version, but I feel like that it might be seems overly redundant right now, especially not only because of economy, but it's also about the fact that every nowadays that a lot of people has already experienced the Switch version recently, with the forms of both Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2 all in one particular bundle when it comes to the physical version of these 2 games together. So either way, that's as far as I was expecting. So, those two games I did somehow got recently, which they are both Donkey Kong games, and no matter what though, one game I'm also give that a second chance, that's what appears to be Donkey Konga 1, and recently, I finally managed to able to get myself Donkey Konga 2. So as a result, I somehow managed to finally get a chance to able to get the entire Donkey Kong games on the Nintendo GameCube now. So because of that though, yeah, it seems pretty cool though. Although I was originally trying to able to get myself the American version of Donkey Konga 1, because for what I've heard, not only does it contain Kirby Right Back At Ya theme, but also with the Pokemon anime theme, which I found was actually quite pleasing to notice, especially concerning for the fact that unlike the UK version, as well as the Japanese version, they do have the different selections of music. So either way though, and the majority of the UK version does manage to able to offer ourselves some licensed music, ranging from Don't Stop Me Now, based off from Queen, alongside with the forms of some other stuff you know as well, I could probably think about on top of my head. Mind you, about the fact that I haven't exactly used my DK Bongos as the controller for quite some time, and recently I also got myself my second DK Bongos controller, alongside with the forms of that particular bundle of Donkey Konga 2. So yeah, that's actually pretty swell, and to make matters even better, I somehow managed able to realize about the fact that when it comes to the UK version of Donkey Konga 2, it does manage able to contain some video game music, whilst unlike the forms of how it does it on, I would say, the American version, obviously it does utilize the forms of the licensed music from the past years or so, ranging from, I don't know, All-Star or something, and relatively speaking, that was about the fact that unlike the American version of Donkey Konga 2, it does show us rated T for teenagers, whilst unlike the forms of how it does it on the UK version, it did say 3+, which also applies for the first game as well. And suffice to say though, is about the fact that, again, I was very glad that not only I give Donkey Konga a second chance, but also I finally managed able to get myself Donkey Konga 2 into my Nintendo GameCube collection now. And recently, for the sake of time though, I am basically wrapped up everything from my entire Nintendo GameCube collection now. So because of that though, I highly doubt I don't know if I can able to actually get more GameCube games at this point in time, because some of them are actually quite pricey, or in some cases, for instance, with Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, my goodness, it's pretty pricey even to this day, especially if you're trying to able to get the game complete in box and everything, ranging from its manuals alongside with inserts, and even with the good condition disc. So either way though, yeah, there was no way I cannot afford able to actually get that game at this point. So yeah, relatively speaking, that was about the fact that I totally appreciate about the fact that I finally managed able to get both of those Donkey Konga games on the GameCube now, although there is technically the third one, but it's only exclusive to Japan. And relatively speaking, that was about the fact that the GameCube itself does have region lock system, so because of that though, I don't think it's possible for me to able to actually get myself Donkey Konga 3, but that's okay though, because obviously though, 2 is quite enough for me. And then for what I can tell about the fact that, well, we used to have Donkey Konga back in the day, but for some reason I accidentally sell it for some odd reason. So either way though, enough about that particular stuff as far as this is concerned, and mind you about the fact that I somehow accidentally used the circuit chance earlier whenever we tried to able to actually do a 400 meters, which as a result, unfortunately, I ended up in 3rd place. But that's okay though, because since we somehow used the circuit chance already, that way we can able to actually get ourselves even more points. But here's the catch though, is about the fact that we do need to keep an eye on Sonic's score count for a while, because it looks like he's almost about to catch up. So because of that though, I need to basically try to achieve, I don't know, 1st place or something on Dream Race, and thankfully though, that none of those opponents is actually going to be able to try to use the circuit chance, because let's just say they've already did somehow use them for the likes of fencing for some reason. So either way though, there's also another thing it's worth mentioning for actually, is about the fact that I've noticed something, that recently though, when it comes to the forms of Astro Bot, it looks like we're about to be getting ourselves a new DualSense controller variant at some point in the future, and as a result it's going to be based off from the likes of the forms of Astro Bot, and I'm gonna say, it does look it does look pretty cool actually. So either way though, that's to be expected when it comes to Dream Race. As you can tell, that we are super duper excited able to go back onto Dream Race again after the events of the Comet circuit in Advanced Class. So, well, unlike the events of how it does on the Wii version though, like I said before, it's almost like simplistic, especially considering for the fact that it does manage to take place in the Sandhill track course, whilst in during the events within the DS version, not only the layout is changed, but it's also about the fact that it's even longer, and on top of all that stuff though, it does, you know, takes place in Blue Sky Highway. So, it kind of reminds me of the events with similar vibes as in Sky Garden, not only on Mario Kart Super Circuit, but as well as the events of Mario Kart DS, and recently with both Mario Kart Tour and as well as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for the Booster Course Pass DLC. Well, usually relatively speaking though, that's as far as I can try to able to explain about that. So anyways though, and also if I've noticed something is that according to the events of Rotten Tomatoes website, in regards to the events of Deadpool and Wolverine film, that it seems to be more specifically, the review scores has actually gone really well. Like, mind you about the fact that it's nowhere near as high enough compared to the events of how it does it on Inside Out 2, in regards to the events of the critics scores as far as I'm aware. Like, recently about the fact that so far it did receive 79% out of 100% on the critics department, whilst for audience out there did somehow receive the film even higher within 97% out of 100, which I guess that makes sense, especially concerning for the fact that again, I'm probably not going to mention any spoilers for the sake of the films of Deadpool and Wolverine, because obviously I'll let you guys see for yourself, especially concerning for the fact that, well, still, I'm going to say this right from the start though, is about the fact that you should definitely recommend seeing it. It is so not only hilarious, but it's also very entertaining as well. So because of that though, still, I would honestly recommend it. So, oh jeez, how come Sonic did somehow catch up all of a sudden? I mean, I got nothing more else to say about it. I mean, get it about the fact that Sonic is fast and all, and I don't know if the block is gonna help, and oh no. No, don't you dare. Oh, really? You beat me to it! Gosh darn it, Sonic, this isn't Mario Kart Tour! I just can't even believe I somehow got beaten by the Blue Blur by the last stretch of that particular Dream Race. I mean, that's how bad it is when it comes to rubber banding AI, whilst compared to the forms of how it does it in, let's just say in Mario Kart Tour, where I don't know, I didn't like it. I don't like the actual rubber banding AI in Mario Kart Tour, because every time whenever I managed able to, if I somehow winning somehow, but then as a result about the fact I keep on getting screwed over by massive onages when it comes to not only for the item system, but it's also about the fact that the controls still really messes me up. And on top of all that stuff though, every time whenever I set the game onto 150cc or something, or 200cc, my god, the AI can sometimes feel a bit, well, rubber banding, which as a result, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. So either way though, anyways, let's move on now to the final event in terms of Cosmos Circuit, and that's what appears to be Dream Shooting. As a result, it plays pretty similar to regular shooting, except the fact that the biggest difference is this time that we have to able to take down all sorts of enemies, and just like the effects of how it does on the previous Dream events we've already somehow come across into, that we have to use these items yet again. So either way though, and every once in a while though is about the fact that I believe we can only hold up to 10 bullets or 10 pistols to be more specifically. So as a result, if you run out of pistols or bullets, you have to able to actually try to reload by simply rubbing the touchscreen, by the way. So just to ensure for the fact that you can able to reload them, or you can able to actually reload them automatically if you move on to the next phase right there. So I get the strong feeling we have to go through 3 stages of this particular event, which as a result, I thought it was kind of cool about the fact that we can able to actually go inside the actual Dream Castle as far as this is concerned, because like I said before, it's about the fact that compared to the Wii version, that basically though the DS version does manage to take place somewhere different, although unlike the defaults of how it does it on the Olympic Winter Games on the other hand, that in a Wii version of that game, does manage to take place in terms of dream events wise, that it does manage to take place in any other environments based off of Mario and Sonic games. Although, unlike the DS version, that's not the case, which, as a result, we'll probably should able to discuss more about that once we get onto the DS version of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games at some point in the future, but not now though, because as a result, that, like I said before, we're still on the films of the 13th day already when it comes to Paris Olympics 2024, so yeah, you probably get the gist of it. So, anyways though, oh yeah, there's also another thing I honestly completely forgot to mention about in regards to the forms of Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. Just like the forms of how it does it on any other Sonic games, even to this day, that when it comes to the forms of on the Switch version, it's usually compatible with multitude of play modes, ranging from TV mode, alongside with tabletop mode, and of course handheld mode. So either way though, yeah, nothing new or anything else like that, so either way though, that's what I can really say about it. And also, as far as I'm aware, that in order to be able to rank up even more points, as you can tell, we need to put up with the forms of the combo system, because if you try to able to build up more combo, then obviously though, the more points you can able to rank up from. So, as you can tell, Daisy did somehow manage to deal with the final blow against with this ginormous egg pond with the shield, by the way, and I believe you're able to actually get 50 additional points if you deal with the final blow. And good thing she did came in first place on Dream Shooting, so that way, that also relatively speaking though, is a good thing we did somehow let Sonic go in 4th place. So naturally though, we did somehow claim the Cosmos Trophy. So yeah, pretty awesome and pretty cool at the same time. And I mean, I will admit, we did this particular circuit kind of rough in some scenarios, but regardless of everything else though, we still managed able to caught up regardless. So anyway, so in addition about the fact that we somehow claim ourselves the Cosmos Trophy, but also we get ourselves the next Dream event, and I think that was actually the final event we did somehow unlocked, because as you can tell, we also got the emblem by somehow unlocking every single event. So naturally speaking though, we somehow unlocked Dream Long Jump, and on top of that we also unlocked Galaxy Circuit as well. So yeah, it looks like we stumbled across into the final Dream event, and that is of course Dream Long Jump. So with that being said folks, is that we got endings of this point right here. So join me next time for more of Let's Play of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games DS version. Is that we're going on to the Galaxy Circuit. So we have Trampoline, Archery, Javelin Throw, 10-meter platform, and Dream Long Jump. So I'll see you guys until tomorrow. Later fellas.